future reading. And grammar plays a key role in that. We don't want them to write, yes, if you're having sentences that we can read, great. Are you communicating them clearly? Are you just writing very simple sentences, or are you at this age able to do compound and complex sentences? And that's another key tool that we want to instill in our middle school writers, to communicate using the better the grammar, the clear the message. And we want them to be able to do that, because as a writer, that credibility is so important, because these writing, it's not just different types of writings, whether they're doing it in for the contest or whether they do a personal narrative for their college essay, whether they have to do this on a AP exam. Every set of writing comes with its own skills, but these grammars, they don't go away. This skill stays. So we want to make sure that we give them these lifelong skills that they can now apply to any form of writing, and I tell this to my students now too, because they think once they're done with this unit, or when they're done with high school or college, like they're done writing. And that's not necessarily true. You might not be doing the type of writing that you expected in school, but this having good grammar, credibility, readability, these are things that you need even in the future, whether you're writing a simple email or you're writing a big journal essay later on in your future. So we really want to encourage good grammar skills. We want to explain to them what typos are, especially since everything is now online, to be able to proofread their own work and identify those skills on their own. It's one thing someone else pointing it out, but it's a whole different level of skills and different level of power almost that they are able to gain when they try to do this work on their own. So that's where grammar comes in and plays a really important role. And again, middle school is that big step that happens from post-elementary, where students are ready to begin to synthesize the concepts. They're ready to self-evaluate their own work, and start understanding, okay, I can change the sentence and make it better. I can, take this use the word very, for example, and, and add something else to the writing to make it much more complex. And grammar is much more serious than, individual rules to be memorized. You can construct and deconstruct. You can say the same thing, whether it's, even if it's technical writing, argumentative writing, you can say one thing in a very simple way, and then you can say the same thing in a much more complicated way and make that much more complex. And sentences is what gives them that tools. So a student can deepen their grammar knowledge and new ways of forming sentence and varying their writing styles open to them. And again, we want that, right? We want them to be able to master these skills of having varying sentences, to be able to construct and deconstruct complex sentences. And the work that we do here really opens ourselves for that, and with grammar, it's all about practice. Practice knowing whether it's nouns or identifying the subject's complement. That's one thing, we're able to diagram a sentence. We're able to break apart all the different nouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives of the sentence, like you see on the right-hand side. That's one of the biggest tools that you can have, is to be able to look at a sentence and say, okay, I can identify the article the, I can look at the noun usher, I can look at the verb found, and all of the different stages of sentences that happen. And that's one of the starting points, right? So if you notice, everything is a step. That's the starting point. You want to able to do the complicated grammar work, whether you start with noun and as indirect objects in 6th grade, or as we move forward, again, this work never ends. And then you move to 8th grade, where you're looking at much more paragraph writing, right? And you're trying to understand the subject mood. And you trying to figure out which one is that, which is the correct way to do it, what's a different way to do it. And we want them to know these things, because knowing gives them the ability to now try in the writing, which is why these reading and writing classes are so codependent on each other, because when they're able to do this work, now they're able to apply it. And the writing again jumps, from 6th to 8th grade. It's a big, even the grammar shift, it happens where they're looking at whether it's identifying common nouns and proper nouns, to then looking at much more complex and complicated sentences, or looking at paragraphs and understanding, okay, where do I break up this paragraph? How do I do this? And that's the kind of skill that we really, really want to start encouraging in our students.